just in time for St. Patrick's Day, we are sharing an Irish soda bread recipe that is what? Leprechaun approved. Stick around. Well, folks, I told you the luck of the Irish be with me here on this St. Patty's Day celebrating week. Look what I got. I got the sweetest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, how I love her. And she is Irish.
Yep.
Both sides of the family. And she has brought together today for us a traditional Irish bread.
Me little Irish eyes are smiling thinking of it.
Now you have to run that by in Okie right quick, will you?
So today we are going to do a traditional Irish soda bread, also known as a brown bread. Usually it's whole wheat, buttermilk, and baking soda base, served during tea time or nearly during every meal.
I'm all about a spot of tea.
I'm getting it from the Best of Irish Breads and Baking, which I bought when I was living in Ireland. So you know this is a legit
Gotta
recipe.
be good.
And it's called Ashford Castle brown bread. And it's slightly different. It uses milk instead of buttermilk. It also has cream of tartar in it, which is going to give it a little more lightness. And traditionally, brown bread can be kind of dense and sometimes dry. So I thought that would really help. It also has a half a stick of butter in it.
That'll help.
And honey. So I thought this might be a good one to experiment with.
I like it.
What do you think? Should we do it?
I think we should do it.
Let the luck of the Irish be with us while we're making this bread.
There she goes, speaking a foreign language. Let the luck of the Irish be with me.
You just sound like a drunk leprechaun.
People always ask me, what kind of flour do you use? I really like Peter Pan flour, I do. But when I was at Branson last fall and was cooking like maybe 1,200 biscuits a week, I really got to liking King Arthur flour. Wait a minute, it's got a child-proof label.
4 cups of the whole wheat flour. 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
See that much right there? Guarantee you it's on the money.
That looks good. 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. You want to use your little...
Nope.
You're really gonna...
I guarantee you it's on the money.
Okay. 1 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar.
Yes, ma'am. That much.
Well, if this doesn't turn out, we know why. Okay, give it a little mix about. A half a stick of butter melted here. To that, we need to mix in like a heaping tablespoon of honey.
Make sure that when you put your butter in there, let it melt a little and then put the honey, because if you put the honey in there right at the start, some of that honey will try to burn a little on you if you ain't careful.
And make a little well in the middle. And then go ahead and pour the liquid right in there.
Right in the center.
Yep. And
2 cups of milk.
Yep. And like I said, traditionally it's a buttermilk, but this is gonna maybe give it a little sweeter taste. 2 cups, 2 cups.
Fold in, right?
Yes. Get her all incorporated well. Put your hands in that.
It feels good already.
Does it?
Yeah. So, my love, we got it to this point. We can't bake it in this.
No.
How about I get me one of these?
By the magic of television, ooh.
Look what it is.
We're doing this in a 10-inch oven today.
To try to keep some thickness.
Right. You could also put this in a loaf pan and put it in a Dutch oven and bake it. And I will also have, if you're doing this indoors, the recipe, how we're doing it, and the link and everything will be below the video. And then just kind of mash it around to the size of the oven. I like it. Let's take it to the far.
Far? Is that Irish?
No, that's Okie. Far.
Okay.
So we're going to cook this like we do nearly any bread that we make. We're going to put it on a taller trivet so we can control our heat a little bit. A lighter ring around the bottom, even on top. And then as it goes to baking, we'll kind of adjust our coals if we need.
If you was truly Irish, we'd be having like a...
Lucky Charms.
Yeah, we'd be having like a spot of whiskey or something while we were drinking this, or some really dark beer while we sit around. Oh, you done drank it all. You are true Irish then.
So you put a lighter ring around the outside. We've got, like we said, we've got it on the taller trivet. We do that nearly 90% of the time when we do baking with like breads, cakes, things with some moisture in them. Don't have very much wind today.
Shh. Don't say nothing, it'll get up.
So we probably won't rotate as often as we would. We're looking for that separation from the outside edge It's going to set up. We can feel it.
Some of y'all might be watching because I have a lot of fans in Canada and the Great North, and it's cold. Now, when you can cook this on the ground and you go outside, if it's cold or if it's wet, something like that, always take that first shovelful of coals and put down there good and heavy and let that ground warm up. Because if you don't and you just start, you're wasting that first dab of heat and you're losing most of it. So wet ground, cold ground, need to dry it out, warm it up a little before you start.
Good point. In fact, we did a video on that, on cold weather cooking tips for grilling and Dutch oven cooking, that I will link to the top. Okay, so we've rotated it a few times, but we're gonna go ahead and check that bottom heat. I can feel it and it's set up pretty good. I can see a little pull around the outside edge, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it off the bottom heat. And when I look at the sides here, I can see a little bit of pulling away from the edge. And even if I take my hand, or you could do this with a fork, and you pull that side away from the wall a little bit, you can see how that's cooking through. I'm gonna put the top heat back on just to let that top catch up with the bottom, maybe just give it a touch more browning. I'm gonna check the top heat to make sure my coals are still good, and they are. And so I'm just gonna let this go maybe a couple minutes more. If you are just getting into Dutch oven cooking and just starting to bake breads, this is a great recipe to start with because there's not a whole lot of moisture in it, so it's gonna cook through a little easier and a little faster, and you're less apt to burn it. It's bread.
It's bread and it looks good.
So like I was kind of saying before, really all you're looking for on this one is when it's cooking, you want to feel it. It's going to set up pretty hard.
Yeah.
It's going to pull away from the edges. You can kind of see some of that light brown creeping up over the edge.
There's not a lot of moisture in here, so when you touch this, it's going to be a whole lot firmer than what you think regular bread is, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you cut this like cornbread.
Well, if it's round, yeah. I just cut it like...
But you have to start at this end.
I'm nervous.
It's hot. Look at the bottom of that. That is just right.
You see that bottom? We got that nice light brown crust.
Here, wait a minute. Let's put this back on there for aesthetics.
There, you guys never saw that. Look at that. That's a nice even browning.
Yeah. Who taught you how to cook?
Betty Crocker. You've got a crust on the top and the bottom, but you can feel the moisture on the inside.
Smell that? It smells good. You can smell that honey and that butter in there.
But I will tell you this, and it's a little secret coming all the way over from the Emerald Isle. This is really just a vehicle for butter.
Oh, and honey maybe.
And honey, which we have.
So what do you think, sugar?
This is one of the better brown breads I've had.
It's got a texture that I didn't think it would have. There is some moisture in there, which is good.
Well, and that's why, excuse me, it helps. A lot of brown breads don't have any like oil in them, and this one had the half a stick of butter, had the little bit of the honey, and it also had, I think, the cream of tartar helped to give it a little more lightness to it. So,
you know what go good with this? Some of that Kent Rollins Cowboy coffee in them brand new Kent Rollins cups. Designed by my sweet wife, Shannon. If y'all are looking for the link to this Cowboy coffee, which is a wonderful creation all in its own, you'll have it in the description down there below,
flash
won't
it up
you?
above.
I think I'm nearly in Ireland. Know what I mean?
It's nice, isn't it? Do you know how many shades of green they have over there versus our two
Oklahoma
in Southwest
brown.
Oklahoma? I'm pleased. I've been through a lot of soda breads, and this is probably one of the top 5. Cilantro.
That's what you put
That's
in
like
beans, ain't it?
like-
Cilantro?
No, that's like cheers.
Tell your friends, your neighbors about this channel because we're about food, faith, and family. Have a good time, and that's what it's all about when you can have food and you can bring it together with people. Hey, it's a great day above the grass every day, ain't it, sugar? But we do appreciate you stopping by. Like I say, we hope you learned something. I'm glad my little Irish girl was here. I love her so much.
Well, I had to shower today to be in front of the camera.
That is true. Don't happen often. And it ain't even Saturday yet. Nope. God bless you, each and every one, and we mean that from the bottom of our hearts, whether they be Irish or Oklahoman. Reach down there and hit that subscribe button, will you? Thank y'all so much. See you down the trail.
And have a great, happy St. Patrick's Day.
And it says pinch me.
Ow.
Right? We need y'all's input.
Oh.
We're thinking about making some t-shirts. And we just was wondering, was you folks be interested in maybe purchasing some t-shirts? We're just on sort of looking, and some of them might even have them words that I very seldom say on there, like, I promise you.
That's shocking.
That could be on there, so you never know. But tell me what you think. Let me and Shan know.